Hey there chef, hope you're having a great week so far. I wanted to introduce UBChef to you. So this is basically the result of the past 23 weeks worth of myself and the team making menus and delivering them to people across the Isle of Wight. So this is now moving on to this. UBChef is going to be coming to you in this nice, lovely sealed box, all iced up. So you don't necessarily have to be there when it arrives. It can sit quite happily for 24 hours at least, all lovely and chilled. It's also available right across the UK, so next day delivery, and there's different options as well, before 10:30, before 12, etc. So yeah, it's basically moving on to that. It's the same principle. It's a restaurant meal with inside the box, and you don't have to do any preparation or go and buy the ingredients. It's all ready to go, but it's requiring you to be the chef and present the dishes, finish off the cooking, which is quite straightforward. Each week, as before, we're providing the recipes, just to finish off instructions, all in here. We've got this cool little key, so there's the circles, red, blue, black and white. They correspond to the labelling on the pot. So for example, the radishes here in this recipe this week have got this little blue outline on. That means they need to go in the fridge, but they don't require cooking before. Red, for example, needs to go in the fridge, but it requires cooking. Black means it needs to go in the freezer, stay in the freezer just until you're ready to eat it. And white, that can be out ambient temperature. Also includes in there all of your recipes. And so yeah, nice little cool recipe book to go with. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take you through my recipes for this week, and then every week you'll be able to order up to 4 menus in advance. So there'll be week 1 to 4, always displayed on the website. You can't mix and match the menus, but every menu has a free starters, free mains and free desserts, and you can of course make your own menu out of that. So it's really progressed, really chuffed with it, and chuffed to see these heading out across the UK, and I hope to deliver one to you very, very soon. So here's a starter view of cuttlefish made into a tagliatelle. As I've slow cooked this, chilled it on ice and cut it very finely. That's coming with some cuttlefish in cracker, a little tender stem broccoli which has been charred just on the stove, and then you've got the braised cuttlefish tentacles again which have been charred. We've got some sliced radish to go on the top for some colour and that little bit of pepperiness. Then I've got a soy and bonito dressing which is going to dress my tender stem broccoli and my cuttlefish. But as well, I've got a lime and rapeseed dressing. That's just the first dressing that's going to go onto the cuttlefish, just to give it a really zippy flavour. So what I'm going to do is take a little tray, so you want either a roasting dish or a little foil container. Put your little ink cracker in there, and also take another tray and put your broccoli. There we go. So this is all cooked, and your little charred tentacles, and then they're all going to go in the oven. Just to warm up. So broccoli, tentacles about 6 minutes. There you go, set the timer. And then your ink cracker, that's only going to take a couple of minutes. And the reason I put it in the oven is just to give it, like, re-crisp it. Because where we would set it straight away, we'll flash it in the oven, out it comes, give it 30 seconds, and it's lovely and crisp. So that's just going to go in once that's had 4 minutes or so. Then dressings. So you've got these little tamper-proof pots. So make sure you give them a really, really good shake. In this one, it's just lemon juice, rapeseed oil. So just break the seal on them, out we come. And then I want you to take some of your lemon rapeseed oil dressing and just a little bit on the cuttlefish. Now, the soy dressing obviously has got a bit of touch of salt in there from soy. I'm just going to add a tiny bit extra into my cuttlefish, but again, you're the chef, so have a little taste. Most important thing, taste, because every palate's different. You might prefer it to be a little less salty or a little bit more. So give your cuttlefish all a nice season there, and then also remember, make sure that's nice and shaken up. This is our finishing dressing for the plate. Soy and bonito, dried tuna. That's all on there ready to go. I'm just going to get my cracker heating up in there, and then once that's all mixed, I've got a nice little pair of tweezers. Ideally use a plate which is contrasting colour, so then you can seal the cuttlefish really nicely, but you know, don't worry, I haven't got a black plate. Glass would be lovely. So start arranging your tagliatelle on the plate. Don't put it all on to start with. Okay, there we go. And then take some of your radishes, and we're going to get some of our broccoli shortly as well, and start building it up. So this is where you get some nice height into the dish, and also different layers of flavour. So there we go. So radish all on there. And I'm going to take the broccoli out now, ready. Take the cracker out. I'll take some of my soy bonito dressing just on top. With my broccoli and tentacles. And again, remember, you just want this just warm on there. It doesn't need to be like roasting hot. So, a little bit of broccoli. And we'll go with a tiny bit more on there. I'm just trimming that down a little bit. Beautiful. Then I'm going to take a little of my charred tentacle, just arranged in. A bit more with the cuttlefish. Again, tweezers are just great because you can just place it where you like it to go. Also, it saves your hands getting all oily with the dressing. There we go. A little bit more of the tentacles in there. Some more radish. Remember, again, you want to see that lovely vivid pink colour. And then what we'll do finally is finish with some of this lovely crispy cracker. I just want you to almost like place that so it gets some nice height to the dish. Break it into little shards. There we go. Lovely. Now remember, a touch more of your soy bonito. Try not dress it over the top of the cuttlefish cracker because it will make it go soft straight away. There we go. So, beautiful starter. Lovely flavours going on there, but nice and light as well. Cuttlefish tagliatelle, there you go. So we're going to make a starter now of duck pastrami. So what we've done with this, the breast of duck have been in a brine for just overnight, about 12 hours. And then what we've done, we've rubbed them with a little coating of garlic, black pepper, a touch of cumin and fennel seeds as well. And then we've smoked them. So we've smoked them over hickory chips for about 2.5 hours, and then roasted them in the oven, rendered the skin down a little bit, chilled them out and then sliced them really thin. So you've got your duck pastrami there, which what I'm going to do is cut off all sides of the plastic first of all. Sorry, just leave one end intact, and then open it up like that. There we go. So you've got your duck pastrami all taken out of the packet. And then what we've got here is a little coleslaw. So this is made with kohlrabi. So we've got kohlrabi in there, we've got gherkins, we've got capers, parsley, and then we've got a little mayonnaise, just lightly bounded, all those vegetables. So spoon your coleslaw into your middle of your plate. What I want to do here is almost make a rectangle, which the pastrami is then going to cover almost as you put it over the top of it. Doesn't matter if a little bit comes out at the bottom because it's nice to see a little bit of what's going to be under there. And then take your pastrami and just help to loosen it off a little bit just with the point of the knife, like so. But keep it on the board because that's going to help you turn it out. So then take it over, lift it up carefully, and then you see just like that on the top. So it's nice and easy. Just make sure you've got a long knife, and then that's all sitting on the top, like so. So that stage, you can either serve the pastrami just like that at room temperature, or what I like to do is just warm it up. So have the grill going, Get the grill right down on top of it. It's only 30 seconds, not long at all. In the meantime, the dressing that I've made for you is this lovely little shallot, Dijon mustard, type of flat parsley in there as well. So that's all ready to go. And also we've got some fried greens here. This is the kohlrabi leaf which we've done. Almost like the sort of crispy seaweed sort of taste to it. So that's all fried, and then you've also got some little fried capers just to garnish that dish off. So once that's got a little bit of heat to it, there we go, that's absolutely fine now. If you don't want it like hot, you just want to take the chill off of it, so when you eat it, you can taste everything going on. A little bit of dressing. I just like to dress that, some of that duck first of all, and then we'll take some of our greens, and just lovely out the top there. That's going to give a wonderful texture. So get all of those. And then lastly, some of those capers. These have been fried, but they've still got that lovely little saltiness. So some capers on the top there. Just arrange those. Beautiful. And then, as I say, come back to some of your dressing. Make sure you get lots of those nice shallots that are in there. There we go. So again, lovely simple starter, absolutely full of flavour. Duck pastrami with a kohlrabi coleslaw. Hope you enjoy it. Right, so for our bruschetta, first thing to do, get your bruschetta in the oven. You can heat it up in the paper that it comes in, no problem at all. Once it's been there sort of 4 or so minutes. And then also romesco, that's coming with this week's bruschetta. This is a lovely paste of roasted tomatoes. So I put the tomatoes on a tray, roast them through the oven. Lots of garlic, so whole bowls of garlic, and then I've squeezed the garlic cloves out once it's all cooked. Blended up with a tomato, but it's got toasted almonds in there as well, so remember this is not good. No, if you've got a nut allergy, stay well clear. So it's got toasted almonds in, sherry vinegar and truffle oil as well. So let's get that warming up on the stove. And then also in here, remember this tomato water dressing. So this is all the juice from the tomatoes hung up in a muslin cloth and then mixed with rapeseed. So give that a really good shake. That will re-emulsify it back together. And then pour some of that over your tomatoes. Keep a little from the top though. There we go. And give those a little stir. This has already got all the seasoning in there, so you don't need to worry about salt and pepper on there necessarily. But by all means, if you like a little bit more, go for it. You're the chef, of course. So then our goat's cheese. This is green barn goat's cheese in here, which I've just lightly whipped down with some goat's whey. So when they strain off the curd, you've got the whey that's left behind. It's got a lovely flavour of the goat's cheese. So I just kind of whip that back through it and just squeeze that down so that's all ready to pipe onto your bruschetta. Let's give our romesco a stir. Here we go. Again, you just want that just warmed up. Okay. Not long at all. And that is all ready to go. And then I've got my flours here. When you get them, keep them in the fridge. If they get a bit warm, just put a bit of cold water on them, a touch of ice, and that will bring them back to make sure they're nice and crispy. So add the little bread out of the oven. Let's put that on our board. I'm going to put a tiny bit more molten salt just on the top of my sourdough, just a little. Then I'm going to get some of my romesco sauce. Not too much. There we go. And I'm just going to take a little palette knife or a little spatula and just spread your whole bruschetta with that lovely romesco sauce. There we go. Then what you want to do is get your tomatoes, and I like to just arrange these all over, like so. This is where you can play with the colours a little bit, where I've given you lots of different varieties of tomato in there. There we go. Beautiful. then your goat's cheese. So that's what I say, just use that bag, squeeze your cheese down, and then just pipe some lovely little pools of goat's cheese in there. Again, if you pull this out of the fridge just a couple of minutes before you're going to pipe it, and that will just enable it to soften down a little. So there you go, that's all our goat's cheese on. And then what we're going to do is take some of our little herbs, flowers. So I've got some nasturtium in there, got some lovely little flowers just to add some real colour to the top, and of course all those extra lovely flavours. So then just build it up then, just using a little chefy pair of forceps to place these, but you can go right in there with your hands to grab these. A few more nasturtium leaves. You see there's a whole mixture. This is where you can really play with it. It's almost like a painting now. You're making it look absolutely beautiful. I love these nasturtium leaves, are really nice and peppery, so they go beautiful with that soft goat's cheese and the acidity of the tomatoes. So there we go, a few more, and the last few flowers. There we go. So what I'm going to do then, just lift that bruschetta onto my plate like so, all clean down. And then remember, you save that bit of dressing. What I like to do now is just take some of that and just drizzle that over the top. Remember, this is like your seasoning for the whole dish. And there you have absolutely beautiful, super tasty, super summery bruschetta with local tomatoes, local goat cheese. Hope you enjoy it. So this dish is a shellfish Milanese. So what we've got are risotto rice, which has been cooked in a shellfish stock. So I made some langoustine bones, lobster bones in there. Plenty of saffron as well. That comes to you already cooked. Just needs finishing off, 2 minutes. It's got plenty of butter in there as well. Milanese, one of the risottos where I do finish with quite a lot of butter. We've also got our fish portion in here and some charred lime. So I'm just going to get my lime in my roasting dish. You've got tiger prawns in there, which I've sealed off for you. Lovely piece of hake, which I've lightly salted. So just before you add any extra salt to the dish, just have a check on that taste, just so I don't want you to be surprised. And then you've got some nice squid in there as well. So that all gets taken out, and that's all going to go into the oven about 8 to 10 minutes on that. So make sure it's hot, but again, you don't want to overcook it. It's already all sealed off for you. Then what we've got here is, as I said, the rice. So take your pan, and then when you're ready to go, get your rice and butter in your pan, and with that, take your shellfish stock. So this is actually the stock that's been cooked with the rice, so it's got all the starch which has come out of the actual grains of rice it's cooking. That's going to go in, and then get it onto a medium heat. We'll save all our tubs. The tubs are all recyclable, of course. And then I'll show you the next ingredients which are going to go in. In here you've got combination ingredients to finish off your risotto. So first of all, you've got grated Parmesan, you've got some lightly whipped cream in there, lemon juice and creme fraiche. So all of those ingredients are going to finish off our risotto. And then just to cut through, give it a lovely bit of freshness, you've got fennel salad. So fennel's all been sliced nice and thinly, put in ice water so it's lovely and crunchy. And you've got some chilli in there as well, a little chilli zest. Shellfish dressing, give it a nice shake. This is a dressing that I've made infusing rapeseed oil with roasted langoustine and lobster bones. Get some of that in there, don't be shy on the amount, and then dress that over. The dressing is already seasoned, but again, if you prefer a little bit more seasoning, go for it by all means. So make sure that is all dressed. And what that will do now, that will start to wilt the fennel down a little bit. So, all ready to go. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring that up to the boil, continue cooking it for a couple of minutes, by which time all of our fish will be ready, and then we can plate up. So, almost ready to serve. Let's get a bowl warming under the grill or pressing through the oven. You see our risotto rice here. So, all of the stock is almost reduced there. So I'm going to continue cooking that another 30 seconds or so. And then get your Parmesan, creme fraiche, remember lemon juice is in there as well. And just at the last second, I'm going to spoon that all into my risotto. Make sure you get all the lemon juice at the bottom. And then just almost fold it in. That's cream slightly whipped. This is aimed to lighten the risotto up. Roll out, ready to go. There we go. So it's all going just right to the simmer. Kind of taste, really important. Lovely. I'm going to add a touch more salt to that. Tiny bit of salt. And off we go, that's it. So, allow that to stand for a minute or so. It'll absorb a little bit more of that liquid. And then let's get our fish out. And again, watch the seasoning on there, especially because that hate's already been salted. Give your fennel a stir. By that stage, you should have flavoured it up. Really nice. All of that vinaigrette's now soaked into the fennel. And then take some of your risotto. We're going to plate that all into the centre of a bowl, being nice and generous. And then we're going to start building all of our fish just on top. So you can see those lovely flecks of saffron in there. So let's get our piece of hake first of all. Then we've got some squid, tiger prawns. I'm just going to stand them up. And of course our squid. And then we've got the charred lime. That's just for your guests, just to squeeze over the top. So that's all lovely and plated. Spend a bit of time arranging that. Then I'm going to take some of my lovely crunchy fennel, all dressed in that shellfish vinaigrette. And I'm just going to place a little bit of that around together with pieces of the chilli. I have blanched the chilli a little bit just so it's not too hot. I want to be able to taste all the saffron on there and not get it, burning in the background. So there we go. And then finally finish with a little bit more of your shellfish dressing. And that's my Risotto Milanese. Hope you enjoy it. So for our tandoori spiced lamb burger, we're just going to get up on the potatoes. So these are already few, they're just potatoes, they've been steamed, then they've been fried just once, quite high temperature, and then I put like a parsley and garlic crumb just on the top. So they're all seasoned, they're going to go straight in the oven. And then our lamb patty, make sure you've got a hot pan. So nice hot pan, touch of oil in there, not too much. And then our lamb, this is cut to room temperature first of all. Really, really important that if you put an ice cold burger into the pan, it's going to really take ages to get for the heat to get through to the middle, and the outside's going to be too charred. So got our patty all ready, in it goes into the pan, move it around. Then I'm going to give it 4 minutes on each side first of all. Then it's going to go into the oven just to finish off. If you like, do these on the barbecue, do them on the char grill, whichever's absolutely fine, but nice bit of colour on that. So my lamb burger has just been finishing off in the oven. I gave it 4 minutes on each side, just on the solid top. Or you, as I said, you could do that on the barbecue. How it comes. And what I do then, just put the feta on the top of there, and then back in the oven. You can leave the feta cold if you prefer. I just like it slightly warmed up. And then we'll take our the potatoes out there, put that back in for a second. Then let's get our chowder bun. Give that slice through. Just going to give that a quick toast under the grill. And then our tomato, just a tiny bit of rapeseed on there. A little bit of seasoning, not too much because the red onion salad is already quite seasoned. Just work that seasoning in. There we go. And then we'll take that lamb burger out now. Good to rest the burger a couple of minutes just before you eat it, just so that the meat can relax, juices can all relax in there as well. So our bun is all toasted. There we go. Now you can lay this up any way you like, but I like to get the lettuce on first of all. There we go. Then we'll get our burger on. Lovely, lovely smell coming off of the warming spice. There we go, let's get rid of that hot pan. Then we'll get our nice Isle of Wight tomato on the top. And then just top it with the red onion. So this has got red onion, lime juice, mint, fresh mint in there as well, seasoning, and all of that's just wilted the onion down nicely. So getting quite a bit on there, almost like the relish. And then get your stick, skewer it through first of all, like so, and then really, really carefully just get some nice height here. There we go. Oh, that looks good, doesn't it? So, plate our burger. There we go. Got all these hot trays. And then we're just going to take some of our posh chips on the potatoes. And we're just going to plate those by the side. Again, these are all seasoned. They're all ready to go. And there you've got your tandoori spice lamb burger, red onion salad, local tomatoes and feta. So to get your souffle cooking, what you want to do is take your souffle, make sure you take the lid off of it, and the oven is set to 185 degrees, which each week all the recipes cook at the same temperature on the oven. So take your souffle, peel back the foil slightly, and then just dip the whole thing down to the edges, just in hot water, a couple of seconds, dry it off well, make sure it doesn't go over the top, and then just ease the souffle away from the side of the foil. You need to just get a little palette knife and just poke it down to the side, just watch you don't tear the souffle, and then a little tap, out it comes. So then you want the sheet of greaseproof paper, which I provided you with, on a baking tray. You can get like 6 on tray, you can do a roasting dish or a casserole dish if you like, and sit the souffle on your paper, okay? Then what you want to do is take a little bit of cream, which comes with, pour the cream over the top, make sure you cover the whole top of it, be quite generous there as well. And then I'm going to take some Parmesan, which again, all comes in the kit. A little grated Parmesan on the top. And that's going to go in the oven now for about 12 to 14 minutes, or until it's well risen and nice and golden. So, what you want then, so when that comes out, we'll just set up a timer so we know when that's all ready to go. There we go. I'm going to have a hot bowl to serve it when it comes out. Then I've got my veggie butter sauce, which is all in the pan, ready to warm up. Won't take long, don't boil it. If it's too thick, just thin it down, a tiny bit of water if necessary. And then as that comes out, I'm going to put my garnish in there. The souffle garnish is the spinach. So when that's got 5 minutes left to go on the timer, quickly put your spinach in the oven. It won't matter if the souffle rises, it'll be absolutely fine, and just warm that through. So 12 minutes time, we'll be all ready to plate up. Okay, so our souffle, got 1 minute left on that. So almost there. What I've done, I've got a heated bowl up, ready to go. My potato galette, this lovely little crispy potato, I've just warmed that very briefly in the oven before, just that's on a tray. If you want to be a bit chefy, just take one of the walnuts that's come in a little packet, and then you can just shave or grate very, very finely some of that walnut. You don't have to do this, it's just like a little extra. So grate some of that walnut on top of your potato galette. There we go. So that's all ready to go. I've got my sauce, not boiling, but just heated up nicely. Then I'm going to take some of my walnuts, I'm going to place them as well as the grapes all around the outside. It's good to do this all before the souffle comes out of the oven, because once it comes out you've got to go very, very quickly to the table so it doesn't sink. There we go, that's our minute just up on there. So let's continue to place our garnish, especially if you've got more of these to serve. If you're doing like 4 at a time, it definitely works out better to do this before. So that's all my garnish on, and I've got my sauce and my potato batter ready to go. Souffle, let's grab the spinach out, very quick, watch out, very hot. That's all seasoned, all ready for you to go. Let's place our spinach in the centre. Beautiful, looking lovely. Let's grab our souffle. See, lovely and risen. And then you've got to work really, really quick here. So just grab that souffle into the centre of your bowl. And then your sauce. There's your butter sauce. Let's get that around. This has got a lovely acidity to it, which is going to cut through the rich cheese. And then finally, take the potato galette, sit that on top. Okay, that's my twice baked cheese souffle with beignet, grapes and walnuts. I'm going to go and eat this now quick before it sinks down. Hope you enjoy it. So cheeky little dessert for you to finish now. So dark chocolate delice. So what I've got in here, it's in this lovely little eco pot. So in the bottom you've got a rich chocolate brownie, and then you've got chocolate mousse. But in the centre we've piped wild bramble jelly in there. And it's got this lovely mirror glaze just on the top, and then some edible gold on there. Most important of this is let it come up to room temperature before you serve it. So give it 10 or so minutes out of the fridge, really important. It's gonna, again, you'll be able to taste everything going on in there. And then the white chocolate aero, when that comes to, it's got a black label, so make sure that goes in the freezer straight away. It's very delicate, so it can easily melt if it warms up. And all you need to do, really, really simple with this one, take some of your little brambles, which are dressed in a lovely little bramble liqueur syrup. Thank you to the customer who foraged these all for me this week, because we didn't have much time, so thank you very much to them. So what I'm going to do is just dress some of those all on the top, and as well a little bit of that lovely bramble syrup. There we go. And I'm just going to go back, and you can get it out with your fingers, but remember, if you think I've got quite hot hands, so chocolate melts very, very quick. So just get some of your lovely pieces of white chocolate aero, almost stand them up in the top. Simple as that. Absolutely gorgeous dessert. Wild brambles, bang on season right now, but not here for long. Hope you enjoy this dessert. So what I've got is my peach carpaccio. As I said, this is compressed in here, all sealed, so just carefully take your knife, just cut that vacuum pack bag, and at the bottom as well, and just around the side, and that will enable you to just very carefully undo it, and you've got it all vacuum packed on the board. So you'll see there, all ready to go. So just carefully loosen that. So you'll see that will all come off of there. Get a little palette knife under there if you prefer. There we go. So loosen that beforehand, because then that will make it much easier to transfer to our plate. Lovely. And then I've got my raspberry sauce. What I'm going to do is just put a little of that just in the centre of the plate. Then I'm going to take my carpaccio, and you can either turn it over on top, or where it's compressed it will be lovely and nicely sort of holding together. You can just take your peach and just sit that over the top. It's almost like it's a little surprise with that raspberry sauce underneath. And then onto our peach Melba. Really, really careful here because it's really delicate. Take the bubble wrap out, which is just surrounding it. That's just in there to keep it safe in transit. And then just take a spoon, carefully get under the peach, and then just lift him up, and then just very carefully sit that in the centre. Watch if you've got warm fingers, because that's white chocolate there, so if you touch it too much, then all that colouring is just going to come off. So there you got it. And then this is freeze-dried raspberry. Just going to put some of those lovely little crispy bits, little flavour bombs, onto our peach, and we're all ready to go. So stunning dessert here. Peach Melba, my take on it. So you've got the vanilla element, mousse inside, raspberry centre, and then our carpaccio fresh peaches and crispy raspberry on there. Enjoy. So a little cheese course instead of dessert now. So what we've got is Isle of Wight blue cheese. So you've got a nice piece of the Isle of Wight blue to serve with. This comes from Queen Bow, Richard Hodgson, absolutely fantastic cheese. Really, really important, let it come up to room temperature. Don't eat it fridge cold because you don't get full benefit of all those lovely flavours. What I've made for you is these lovely little blue cheese beignets with choux paste. They're going in the oven about 8 to 10 minutes. And then when that comes out, we're going to be ready to plate it up. We've got some chicory, so a lovely like bitter flavour to go with that rich cheese. Then I've made you a pear chutney, so a little spiced pear chutney in there. And as well, there's a pork dressing. So we're going to dress the pork dressing on the chicory, plate it up with beignets all around. So a little combination of hot, cold, sweet, salty, etc. So we'll be back in 8 to 10 minutes when those beignets are all lovely and crisp, and then we shall plate up. So my beignets are just about to come out of the oven. So what I'm going to do is get some of my pork dressing. Let's get that over the chicory, save a little bit for the plate. I'm going to add a tiny bit of seasoning to that chicory as well, so a little bit of salt and pepper. And then give that a good stir in the tub that it comes in. There we go. Lovely. Then grab your beignets out. Again, tiny bit of seasoning on them. I like to use a little bit of flaky golden salt on them. And then what we'll do, we'll start to plate it up. So let's get a nice beignet, and then we'll put some chicory. And here you can play a little bit, get a nice spoon of that lovely chutney. It's got a little bit of a spice on there. And then another beignet, and then let's get some more chicory to finish it off. There we go. And then we want a lovely wedge of Isle of Wight blue cheese. Just down there, and then a touch more pork dressing. So a little bit of a different cheese course, but I'm sure we'll find that temperature of those beignets combined with the soft, rich Isle of Wight blue cheese itself, absolutely delicious, especially with that pear to cut through it. So there you go, and hope you enjoy it.